Hey everyone, welcome to the first ever episode of our brand new series, Mech Arena Map Tips. In this series, we're going to discuss battle positioning and strategy. The idea is to help you get familiar with the various maps Mech Arena has to offer, and to give you some ideas for using the terrain to your advantage. In this first video, we'll talk about tactical opportunities and useful positioning tips for one of our most popular maps, Skyship 11. It's a fun control point clash map with an interesting layout that you can use to get the drop on the competition. We'll also discuss how to counter the various strategies you're likely to encounter on Skyship 11. Whether you're a new player or a seasoned veteran, we're sure our map tip series will give you plenty to think about. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first location on our list is the lower deck. This one is obvious. Pretty much everyone had to go down here at one point or another, and it offers a good spot to reload and recuperate away from the fighting around the central control point. But fewer players venture to the unfenced part of the deck for fear of a misstep leading to an embarrassing self-own. That worry is justified. But if you're feeling brave and have a javelin rack in your arsenal, you can actually use this little ledge as a firing position. It's a relatively safe spot for targeting mechs near that central control point. Of course, you haven't got much room to maneuver, so we'd recommend you install some range-boosting implants to help you reach your targets. At the very least, you may be able to force the enemy team to back off a little and give your teammates some breathing room. Now, the obvious downside. Once you hit the enemy from here, they're likely to figure out where you are. And if they decide to pay you a visit, the low ceiling here means you can't use your javelins to defend yourself. So, you'll likely be in deep trouble. With that in mind, you might want to take advantage of this spot when you have a teammate watching your back. Failing that, be sure to consider your exit strategy. Kill shots, surges, and cheetahs are great for getting out of tight spots. And one more map tip while we're talking about javelins, it's not a bad idea to position yourself here and watch for that lock-on indicator to appear. If you react fast, you may be able to counter enemy javelins before they have a chance to wreak havoc. Sticking with the lower deck, how can you deal with enemies trying to overtake the platform above it? Well, see this alcove? If a Zephyr or Redox slides up here, their ability can affect enemy mechs all the way to the highest point of the ramp above. This means tanks with shields and disc launchers suddenly become much more vulnerable, but your team has got to be ready to take advantage of it. Next up, let's look at something with slightly less traffic. You may have seen Daredevil players dashing along the external barrier here. It's like walking a tightrope between the battlefield and the abyss below, and it takes a little practice, but it's a good trick to be aware of. And that's because it gets you here, on top of this red covering above the lower deck, where the enemy least expects to find you. Once here, you can pop out from behind cover, empty your mags, then duck back behind cover to reload. Seeing attackers pop up from a seemingly unreachable position can confuse your enemies long enough for you and your team to secure an advantage. But don't get too comfortable because this spot is more exposed than you might think. First of all, enemy snipers don't even need to leave their spawn site to get line of sight on you. And of course, anyone else who knows how to get up here can just walk up and shoot your mech in its metal mug. Oh, and remember the lower deck? That unfenced ledge we just spoke about also gives your opponent the ideal location from which to shoot your mech in the back of its chrome dome. However, that little ledge can save you too. If things get a bit too hot up top, you can drop down here and regroup. So far, so good. Now, the final map tip we're going to share with you today is also about the element of surprise. You've probably seen this arch above the central control point, but you may not know that you can get on top of it. You'll need a lancer and a little patience, but it is possible. It takes 2 jumps to get up there, and that's not easy at all with the battle raging all around you. But if you do manage to get up here, you'll be in a perfect spot to mark your opponents even as far away as their spawn site. While this is a great way to take a few of the opposing team by surprise, you're certainly not invulnerable up there. There's not a lot of cover from mortar or sniper fire. And if you stand too close to the edge, snipers can actually target you from the spawn site. Even opponents with mid-range weapons in front of you can be dangerous here, especially those with splash damage. This gray ledge provides some cover, but anyone on the red covering we spoke about earlier will still have a shot. So the strategy is knowing how long to stay and when to use Lancer's high speed and jump jets to get out of dodge. Oh, and don't forget to check up here when you spawn, just in case one of your opponents has had the same sneaky idea. And that's about it for this episode. Do you have any Skyship 11 map tips of your own to share with your fellow players? Tell us in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Mech Arena content. Happy hunting!